Hello, I'm Jean Pete, and I welcome you back to our show, Better Living. Better Living is brought to you by the Homestead Hope Foundation and is sponsored by Homestead Hospice, where commitment to education and premier hospice care helps patients and families through life's most important journey. Thank you for joining me again this week. We have a very fun, high-energy show in store for you today. I am here with Joanna Ward, who is a certified personal trainer. She's a whole lot of things. I can't even get it all out, but I'm going to tell you the top 4 that I remember. Certified personal trainer, certified guidance counselor, author of Surviving the Fitness Game, which she wrote, I think, after her participation on the TV show Survivor. So we have a great, fun, exciting, happy, healthy show in store for you today. So stay tuned. Joanna, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Jeannie.
Okay, so I got the top 4 there. So now I'm just going to say, who are you? Tell the world all about you, and then we'll start from there, because I couldn't write down as fast as you were telling me all the things that you did.
Well, I think one of the greatest things that I am is a mom. Of a 22-year-old son.
No.
And, yeah. So I kind of know all the years
35.
between
I don't know
0 and 22. So, I'm graduated South Carolina State University on a basketball scholarship and a former athlete turned educator into master trainer and minister at Joanna Ward Fitness, helping people change their lives 1 pound at a time, 1 day at a time, 1 meal at a time.
So who's your typical clientele?
My typical clientele are African-American women between the ages of 35 and 60.
Cool.
Who have sluggish metabolisms, who are struggling with their diet, mental and emotional eating habits, and all
and then
kinds of
that big M word that affects us all, menopause from losing weight in the mid-40s, 50s. Yuck.
We try not to divide it up. We just try to make it all the same. So we have blurred lines. So people don't really be that, mentally connected to a time frame, because age it's defined by what you participate in and how you define your body. So it's not, I'm 50, so I have a video I just posted yesterday of a 56-year-old and a 50-year-old running down the basketball court like they're 25 years old.
I just heard on the radio this morning on the way in that there was a lady that was challenged to do, I think it was crunches. Mm-hmm. And she was 102 years old, and they challenged her to do 102 crunches, and she did it, blew it out of the water, and did more than that at 102 years old. Mm-hmm. I said, it's a good thing I'm coming in to do this radio show, because I really need Joanna to motivate me. If the 102-year-old can do over 102 crunches, right, I'm in trouble. Okay, so let's. So you were an athlete your whole life, fitness oriented your whole life, but then let's talk about Survivor, because that's cool, and I want to hear all about it, and then we can go from there about all that you do to help everybody else survive the fitness challenge. Right.
So, Jeannie, actually, I wasn't fit all my life.
Okay.
So what happened? Actually, being an athlete, high school, good enough to go to college, playing college, I finished college basketball.
You were a Tar Heel?
I actually played for South Carolina State Bulldogs.
South Carolina
yeah, it's in Orangeburg, South Carolina. Okay. And shout out Bulldogs. If anybody out here even knows about South Carolina State. But actually, after I finished, I was so exhausted because I was married in college. I had my son in college. Wow. And was a basketball player, pledged Delta Sigma Theta, was working on an English education degree, and did all those things. And I was literally mentally, emotionally exhausted finishing. And so I just kind of sat down. And in that sitting down and taking a breath, I breathed in about 30 extra pounds, which I'd never done. I'd never known what it was like to be heavy or gain a pound, because we ate what we wanted to eat. We, like you said, we were always fit. And it was mortifying for me. And so someone encouraged me, like, Joanna, you're getting big. You need to go to the gym. And so I'm thinking, let me just go to the gym. I'm going to get this weight off. No problem, because I'm an athlete. Even when I had my son, boom, I'm back 9 months later, starting on the basketball team.
And you're young, so you would think it would fall off.
And it did.
Oh, okay.
Because I was a basketball player. But who does the basketball players workout in regular reality?
Right.
I mean, you got a coach there beating you, telling you, So even if I was older, which we had older girls on the team, that type of regimen is just not typical. So it was responsible for it. And I didn't know how to be fit other than that. And so that weight came on. I got to the gym, 92 pounds. I write about this in my book, 192 pounds, heavier than my pregnancy weight.
Holy cow.
Yes, heavier than my pregnancy weight. And I'm saying to myself, I'm not going to be 200 pounds.
Not that that's huge for normal people, but just looking at you now, that's a big difference.
Yeah, huge. In my mind, too, the mental, you're 8 pounds from 200 pounds.
Right.
Never being close to that, even at pregnant.
Right.
And so I started trying and was failing at 24 25 years old, failing.
Wow.
Losing only 4 pounds in 4 months. Because I'm on the treadmill and I'm not really understanding the methodology, the science, the history, the research behind it. I'm just like, oh, I'm an athlete. Let me go back to the gym. And I struggled.
And I see that a lot. You see these people at the gym. Right. And they are workhorses. Right. My niece, she's in her 20s, and she's the cutest little thing. But she gets on that stair stepper, and I'm like, honey, your thighs are pure muscle, but they're big. Give them a break. Lose some weight. You're not going to thin it out by doing the Stairmaster for an hour every day. You're going to build muscle, right?
Exactly. She's going to build muscle, and then her diet is key.
She's teeny tiny up top. She needs to get off, let it go flabby, and then lose the weight. I don't know. That's my answer to everything. Anyway, so go ahead.
But I had to change my diet. I had to understand how my body works. I had to understand how food works and its effect on my metabolism, all those things. And really, in about 6 weeks, my metabolism actually caught up with my caloric intake and body fat intake and all that stuff. And I actually shed that 30 pounds within about 6 to 8 weeks because my metabolism was already so. So the science behind it is what pushed me into helping other people.
Wait. 30 pounds in 6 to 8 weeks?
6 to 8 weeks because I really cut back. I cut down my fat intake to 20 grams, kept the same regimen, started doing a little bit more sculpting and toning, and just taking some advice from some trainers and people who not just had a certification.
15 pounds a month.
Right.
So that's like 3 to 5 a week.
And you're talking about a speeded up metabolism because I was working out 2 or 3 hours a day, but not really eating right. So,
because you always worry if you lose too fast. That's what I always heard. Slow and steady wins the race long term. So I always worry when people say, oh, I lost a ton of weight in a short amount of time, because I'm thinking that's going to come right back on you.
Well,
but not really.
Anything you do, if you win money, you can hit the lottery today, and if you don't spend it right,
that's true.
You're going to be broke by the end of the year, and so it's just relative. You don't have to. There are lots of people who lost weight, in 2 months, 2 3 months, or whatever, and they kept that same habit up. They never omitted exercise. You can't give up. You can't just be like, oh, I'm where I am and let me just stop.
Right.
No matter what you're doing.
Right.
You have to maintain.
So what do you think? Is it more exercise? Is it more intake that will help you lose weight?
I think it's really largely, I would think if we were looking at the whole combination of the two as $1, I think 75% is your eating habits.
I do too. But health-wise, being active and staying fit has so many more positives too, that you can't just watch what you eat. I think somebody had mentioned unhealthy skinny people, some celebrity or something, unhealthy waifs or something. I don't remember, but I'm with you. Okay, so we're going to get more into that. I think what you put in your body is more important for you losing weight, but the exercise gets the oxygen moving, gets the blood moving, gets the heart healthy, gets the digestive system healthy, and helps you live longer.
And tone and sculpt and get you,
looking good.
Youthful, yeah. It keeps your body looking, and you looking and feeling.
So how do you help folks? Do you have them start with the exercising, or do you have them focus on the food and then increase the exercising as they start losing and getting a little more energy? What's the best way to start a regime?
Exercise.
Start exercising first.
Because eating in our society is so triggered. It's so triggered by so many different things.
That's
emotional
true.
History, psychological codependence, and so many different things going on with eating. It's easier for me to engage you step by step, minute by minute, hour by hour with that exercise than to try to get into your eating scheme immediately. Now, through your temperance and discipline with the exercise, then I can begin to coach you into eating. And for my women, and the women that I deal with, the most women, it's easier for me to ask you to add to your diet than to tell you to cut out Haagen-Dazs. It's just so much easier for you to accept that from me. Because immediately if I say you can't, it's like, I know I'm going to fail. Whereas I say,
because you're so afraid you're going to be hungry. I mean, before I learned, because I did learn, I now know what I need to do. I'm just not doing it. But before you learn, truly, it's so scary. I'm not going to say who it is, but when I grew up, there was a popular weight loss program, and I'm so sorry, it was not enough food. It was not enough food.
Right.
And I felt like I was starving, and I failed every time I tried it. And it worked for some people, but and then I realized, man, to lose weight, you got to eat all day. And then I wasn't even hungry when I went home for dinner because I had fed my body the right nutrients, and your body's not craving bad things because you're getting the nutrients it needs. And I had to like force feed myself dinner to keep the protein and the fuel going. And I thought, holy cow, you don't have to starve to lose weight.
The adding is easier than taking away. It just is from a psychological perspective, which a lot of this is psychological, even not exercising, or I don't feel like, or I know what to do but not to do. Here's a decision to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and come to a gym and to come to a trainer, or go in 5 o'clock in the evening.
Oh, man, that's more than a decision, because I'm trying to do that. I got a treadmill downstairs.
It's the difference between the people who do it and don't is they have a made-up mind that has forced their body into a routine that they don't want to let go of. A lot of the women, lost anywhere between 40 and 60 pounds, like what you were saying, and they're like, I don't ever want to be fat again.
It's true.
In their minds, however that was in their minds, wherever they were, whatever place that girl was in, they are like, I get up every morning because I just don't want to go back there.
Because I'm worth it. That's what I used to say to myself every day. Jeannie, you are worth it. Why are you trying to sabotage yourself? Get up and go. Mm-hmm. You're worth it. I don't know why I do know. This is my theory. We're so dang distracted. Women take on the world. Sorry, men, I don't mean to exclude you. It's hard for everybody, but I'm going to get on a soapbox for a minute here. We're trying to take care of the kids. We're trying to take care of the guy. We're trying to take care of the animals. We're trying to work, make the money, make sure all the doctor's appointments are taken care of, do the groceries, cook the food, make sure the routine's in place, figure out vacations, everything. Mm-hmm. And I think it takes our brain in too many directions. We have too many priorities at once. So I feel like, for me, because I always talk about me, I don't know, it always comes back to Jeannie. This is how I relate. Uh-huh. I feel like sometimes if you truly want to win the self-worth battle and be healthy, you have to put yourself first. And sometimes in order to do that, you need to clean your life. Mm-hmm. I think when we get overloaded, we eat for comfort, and we get so busy we fall out of that routine. Mm-hmm. Do you find that? Because you work with women, so that's why I brought that up. A lot of women. And do you find that? Do you coach them? You're a certified counselor, so I imagine that comes into play a lot.
And a lot of them can't clean their lives, so you just can't get rid of your husband or your boyfriend or your kids.
No, I don't mean it like that.
I mean, but it's just like those things are here. So what they do is they just shift themselves from the bottom to the top. And what I remind them is, when you're fit, when you feel good, when you have energy, when you sleep well and you are focused, you're a better mom, you're a better wife.
Or dad. Okay, we'll bring the men in again.
Yeah, but the women do carry. They're the mothers. They're the helpmeets. They're the take on the name, they take on the kids. They are there. And we all know that. It's not anything to be ashamed of. Mm-hmm. We're just trying to empower the hand that rocks the cradle, because it does rule the world. And if you understand the value of you being empowered in those positions, work, we'll get up and go to work, but we need to get up and work out as well with that level of diligence, because we become a better employee, a better wife, whatever role you're playing. It doesn't matter. You're empowered when you're physically empowered, because your body you'll have for the rest of your life is the tool that you'll use to accomplish your goals and assist those who you're responsible for.
It's so true. And I'm getting all revved up, because I do remember I never felt better when I call it a clean body. Mm-hmm. You could feel that it was clean. Mm-hmm. I knew if I ate something bad, my body rejected it.
Right.
Because I was completely putting healthy things in my body. I had so much energy. Not only that, I was so positive.
Right.
Just positive. Mm-hmm. The endorphins, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I don't know everything about physiology, but I know I felt like I could rule the world. If you can conquer this and get yourself healthy, there is no mountain you can't climb. No matter how healthy you are. Mm-hmm. Even if you are recovering from a surgery or fighting an illness, increasing your health a little bit at a time. I've worked in healthcare for a long time, hospice and home health, and we used to just say to people, just move your arms up and down. Right. Just get the blood flowing and the oxygen moving, even if you're in a wheelchair. You're releasing those endorphins, you're making yourself feel better, you get happier because of it, and you increase your quality of life. Doesn't mean you're going to be running, but no matter what movement you make in the right direction, you are living healthier, better, and more positive. And that's what the show is, Better Living. Right. Stay with us. We're not just talking about those folks that are going to run marathons. I'm talking about motivating and energizing you, no matter what phase you're in, to get your body moving and think about what you're putting in your mouth.
Right.
If you are served meatloaf and mashed potatoes, don't do the gravy. Just to start.
Right. Or just
or
eat
the vegetables instead of the mashed potatoes. So anyway, this is your show, not mine.
I'm a guest.
I'm having so much fun. So I have so many more things that we'll talk about. As you can tell, it's not hard for me to just chit-chat with you. But I do want to talk about Survivor.
Okay.
So how did they find you? Or did you go looking for them? Or how did that work out?
Well, in my school at the time, was still working at the universities, Claflin and South Carolina State, and our teachers were huge Survivor fans. I was not a Survivor fan at all, and they were saying, Ms. Ward, we think you'll make a great contestant. I'm like, yeah, right. I'm not trying to be out in Survivor doing anything. And at the time, I'm still just an instructor. I'm not a trainer or any of that stuff. I'm just trying to not get that 30 pounds back on and help who I can or whatever and make some money on the side. And they were like, we think you should go. And it's like the last day before Survivor. And fill out this 20-page application. Back then, it wasn't all digitized like it is now. And Survivor was relatively new. I was on one of the first seasons that came out.
When were you on?
I was on in 2003, which was season 6. Early. And they're like in season 20-something now. It's totally kind of different shifted show now. I'm an original Survivor. But nonetheless, I filled out the application the last minute. And they called me to Miami, did a screen test, and came back. And I was in the 50, top 50. And it just kind of all went really, really quickly. And I was selected as one of the 16.
And then were you like, holy crap, what did I just get myself into?
I was excited because it was the Amazon, and I'm tall and I'm athletic, and I'm never been to the Amazon, and give me opportunity to represent who I am, because they said that they were the elite, whoever's on there, we picking the cream of the crop, and to go out there and dominate mentally and physically in that game, in that arena, reminded me of who I am and what I'm about. And so it just lifted my eyes. I was really, I don't know many people been to the Amazon, let alone
That's amazing.
Ate on the floor of the Amazon or ate out of the river of the Amazon. So
no thanks.
It was a wonderful experience.
So what would you say, because you're fit, but what would you say was the biggest thing you took away from being on Survivor? Because I would imagine you really get to know self. Oh,
absolutely. Well, right. I think more than anything was that my faith is real. I believe in Jesus Christ as my resurrected Savior. So I told them that going on the show. Like, I didn't go in here like, oh yeah, wow, here's a surprise. I was like, this is who I am, this is what I'm about, and this is who, I do faith and fitness. And so that's why I said minister, master, trainer. And it reaffirmed that outside of church, outside of Bibles, outside of what society has to say, that faith is strong, because in me is greater. As the scripture that says, greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. And I dominated, and I won, and I prevailed. I started fire. I caught fish before anybody else.
Did you win?
I didn't win the game.
Oh, okay.
Because one of the things was
kids.
one of the things was I didn't touch the idol. That became a big deal. They have the immunity idol if you watch Survivor, So one of the biggest things that I did, I guess, is shocked America, was I didn't fraternize with the idol. So I could imagine that I was going to get voted off at some point because that idol is supposed to be for immunity.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I was in the thick of raising children. I'm going to rent it.
It's still on though. They're still having like Survivors on now, if I'm not mistaken. So they're still doing it. So
my problem is I need a closed-in bathroom and a shower every day and a toothbrush and toothpaste, and I just don't think
none of that is Survivor.
I know. I could never do it. I would be.
But it's real. Off. It's real. It's 100% real. People like, really? It was. Yeah, it's real. It
is real. So
it's real.
That's cool.
It's real. That's real.
Cool.
Like none of that stuff.
It's funny that you say that about faith. There is something bigger when you are conquering something. You're tapping into places you've never realized you could tap into before, and it's amazing because it just feels stronger. It's like a snowball. And it just gets bigger as you're climbing that mountain, whatever that mountain may be.
Right.
I've been there. I know what you're talking about, because you realize that there's just so much more in there feeding me strength that I need to tap into that again. Like I've lost my way a little bit. So it's amazing because as I was trying to say, you must have gone into self, but that's what I mean. Like when you're truly focused. and you're one with yourself, if that makes sense, you realize that the strength that's in you, not from you.
Correct.
In you.
Right.
That is there helping you when you put the work into it. I don't know. I don't know how better to describe it, but I know exactly what you're talking about. And it just makes you stronger. It makes you feel like you can conquer anything. I'm going out. Okay, so after the show, did you write the book right after the show, or did you take some time? Or because she's an author, Surviving the Fitness Game, right?
Well, again, my bachelor's degree was in English education. My master's is in counseling. And I was on tour talking about my faith. And I was on CBN talking to Pat Robertson about faith and fitness and my routine. He's like, oh, you like a Billy Blanks? And da-da-da-da-da. I'm on there, and a publishing company says, hey, you know what? You got to get a devotional going. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you guys think? And I was like, they were like, what about a devotional, surviving? And so we came up with a name, and I came up with the structure and the contents and all that, and inked it out. 28 days devotional. It's a 28-day devotional. And it's broken down into what I call pineapples in the jungle. And it's about fruit of peace, about fruit of the spirit, fruit of forgiveness, and long suffering. And you just got all these different fruits. And I call it pineapple in the jungle because when I was in the jungle, I wanted pineapple. And they were like, just be quiet. You're not going to get any pineapple. And I was like, I'm going to get some pineapple in the name of Jesus. And I found 3 pineapples in the name of Jesus. And so I wrote a section of my book called Pineapples in the Jungle.
That's awesome. I want to talk a lot about the book because it seems like that analogy, all the different fruits and the way you labeled the different fruits. I'm so interested in delving more into that because I really want to motivate people, even if it's just one person listening, to live better. It's called Better Living, and I'm so excited to have you here today. But we do have to take a quick break. So when we come back, we're going to talk more about the book, more about personal training, all that you offer, and how someone can get in touch with you. So stay tuned. Hello, I'm Jean Pete, and I welcome you back to our show, Better Living. Better Living is brought to you by the Homestead Hope Foundation and is sponsored by Homestead Hospice, where commitment to education and premier hospice care helps patients and families through life's most important journey. Thanks for staying with us. I'm still Jean Pete, and I'm still here with Joanna Ward, who is certified personal trainer, certified guidance counselor, author of Surviving the Fitness Game, and a past participant of the TV show Survivor. We've had so much fun talking the first half hour. I've had so much fun talking the first half hour. I'm going to let her talk a little bit more this half hour. But I'm excited about motivating and influencing and helping you all to get healthier, no matter what that meaning is for you. In any way, shape, or form. Just get you moving, get the blood flowing, get the oxygen moving, help you eat a little healthier, feel better, feel more positive, and live a better life. So, Joanna, thanks again for being with us today. We started talking about your book before the break. Before we go into your book, first I want to let you all know, write this down because you're going to want to get her book after we start talking about it. It's JoannaWardFitness.com. JoannawardFitness.com. And you can go on her website and learn more about all personal training and everything she does, but also probably have access to her book, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the book, because before the break you were talking about pineapples and how you were going to find a pineapple on the show and you found 3.
Right.
And how you talk about the fruit and the peace, P-E-A-C of fruit, not P-I-E-C-E of fruit. Right. So let's talk a little bit more about that because I'm fascinated. I have some questions.
So, of course, like I said, you're starving, thirsty, hungry, no refrigerator, no food in the jungle. And, just these cravings, crazy cravings, even like we do now, come into your head. And I was just craving pineapples, telling other contestants, I want some pineapple. They're like, Joanna, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get any pineapple. They told me they don't even grow pineapple out here in the Amazon, which wasn't true. But we went and scouted and wound up finding 3 pineapples right in the middle of just sitting. They were sitting there, just sitting out in the opening.
Then I'd be like, okay, Joanna, ready? You're going to find 3 bathrooms. I would make you make that happen.
Right. But it had to be a desire of my heart, because in the scriptures that I believe in, Psalms 37, it says, for if you delight yourself in the Lord, then he'll give you desires of your heart. And of course, I'm known as the hallelujah lady. Hallelujah. Oh, glory. I'm being tame right now. And I'm always singing and praising. And so I'm delighting myself in what I believe. And of course, I found the pineapples. I wasn't really asking for bathrooms, but I believe if I had, they probably would have sprung up out of everywhere. But you know, the animals that's out there, so many animals and predators for them to just sit there. And then I found out it takes like 2 years for a pineapple to even come to harvest. And it's just sitting there being provided for me in the midst of a jungle, in the midst of a place that's foreign to me. And I'm like, God provided for me before I even got here the desire. He knew that I mean, it could have been apples I found or grapes or just some other thing that I found, but I found exactly what I wanted. So I had to add that to the book. And they say it takes 28 days to make or break any habit. And so I broke it down to 28 days and cut up the pieces of the pineapple into 4 sections: the fruit of the spirit and the fruit of what is it? Fruit of the spirit, fruit of praise, fruit of forgiveness, and the fruit of prayer. And all those things can produce a harvest in the area in which you're looking. And so each of the 7 days, you're able to have a scripture, you have a mini sermon in there, and then you have a psalm, and then of course you have a physical activity, which is the exercise because it comes with the DVD, and just kind of guiding you through what we were talking about, the spirit, getting your spirit, the battery in your car motivated. You know, a car can be working just perfectly fine. You don't have the key or something's wrong with the battery, it's not going to go no matter how. You know, I have a nice car now, a nice Cadillac. If I don't have the battery in it, or I don't ever go stick the power of those keys in there to ignite it, then it's just not going to go anywhere, no matter how much potential it has. And so in the inner man, with my training experience, I know that people are connected to that inner man. They do a lot better. They've had a lot more success and continued success. You're talking about 7, 10, 12, 14 years success to this day than people who just kind of got into it for, let me just lose some weight and go on. I think we talked about that. Mm-hmm. The enduring results that you want and consistency that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. I love that. You got to feed the spirit. But I want to talk more about this whole praise and forgiveness, because I do think the journey to good health is about forgiving yourself. And I used to say, as I said in the first half hour, Jeannie, you're worth it. And that's a form of praise, you know?
Right.
You're doing good. It's okay you don't feel good and you're only doing a mile today.
Right.
Or whatever it is
Absolutely.
that you're doing. Good job. Keep going. You have to reaffirm yourself. You are. I love that you said inner me. You can't do it unless you tap into your inner self. You can't. Period. You'll last a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks.
And my voice is silenced after you leave me, but there's a voice in your head that's constantly battling with what's going on, and who talks back to that voice in your head other than the stronger you that's in there saying, it's quite okay that I didn't work out today. I'm going to do it again tomorrow, and then get up tomorrow and say, I'm going to do this today. And even if I don't do it today, if I wake up tomorrow, something has to have the argument, and we have nothing arguing. We're losing the argument. We're sitting on the seat of judgment, and we have no attorney. My attorney of Jesus Christ, of course. Going back and forth interceding for me, but we're sitting there, we're being convicted and we're being sentenced and we're accepting it. We have nobody and nothing arguing on our behalf, and you have to have something in you that says, I am worth it. I'm not a failure. And not only forgiving ourselves, but people are carrying cancer within themselves in the form of unforgiveness. Mom, dad, somebody in a relationship, something happened along the way, and I decided I was not going to forgive, thinking that it's hurting you. It's only hurting me. And unforgiveness is like drinking poison, thinking that another person is going to die. Forgiveness is about you. It's not about them getting away with anything or them not even having been wronged. But you're letting somebody take rent in your heart and your head, and for free. They're occupying space for free in your heart and your head. I'm
not a certified counselor. I'm just speaking from the heart, really. But, you know, I think going back to the whole woman struggles, and even men, it doesn't even matter, no matter what sex you are. But you want to please your partner, hopefully. And sometimes it's that guilt, you know, I work 12-hour days, I come home, I got to have dinner because I'm a stickler about eating at the table with my kids. Then I get my kids all squared away, clean up after dinner. I should be getting on that treadmill if I didn't get up at 5 a.m. And move my body. But then I'm like, well, I'm not spending enough time with him. Maybe he'll get upset if he doesn't get a piece of me too. But you have to go to your inner self, because there's nothing more attractive than taking care of yourself, feeling good, and loving yourself.
People can tell.
Because if you love yourself, they're going to love you more. And if they don't, then that's not your fault.
That's not your fault.
That's not your problem.
Right.
And that's a really hard, that's a hard thing to grasp, because it may end up meaning change that you don't want to have, or it may not. It may be changed so much for the better. You just let go of the sitting on the couch watching TV, took care of yourself, had more energy, and then it fed the relationship, it fed the home, it taught the kids the better habits. You really have to put yourself first. You just have to.
Love thy neighbor as thyself. How can I love you when I haven't loved myself?
Right.
And it doesn't say treat them good, because your idea of treating me good may be slapping me every now and then, because that's something that you don't feel. But if I treat you like I treat myself, that means I don't want to slap myself. And so I'm not going to slap you. And that's powerful, because how can you really, truly, really give people the best part of who you are when you don't really love yourself enough to know how valuable you are, to know that your days on this earth are limited. You're not going to live forever. So why not invest in living longer and a higher quality of life? All that you can. No, tomorrow's not promised to any of us, but today is here. And so why not invest in your day? And the best time for me, or for women, that I believe to work out is 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Somewhere around that time, you need to go to bed so you can get up, because evening is filled with so many urgencies. Somebody didn't get picked up. Somebody needs a meeting. Somebody didn't come. I had to fill in for somebody. And it gets all mixed up in the middle.
You're right.
But if you get up and start the day that way, your energy, your focus, you got that time, and now his time is there, the kids' time.
And you're making it up in your head, too. I mean, I have a wonderful man in my life. I make this stuff up out of my own fear,
Right.
But there's nothing more attractive than being happy with yourself, really and truly. The rest just unfolds.
It really does.
When you're taking care of yourself.
But we are so, that's
we
why I
make
said
it
we
up
got
in our head half the time, I think.
And we're so inadequate. Our confidence level diminishes for no reason. We're seeking some level of perfection that I don't even know if is realistic. Some people say, well, can you make me like Beyonce? I was like, you need to just be yourself, because you need to just be the best you can be. You're not going to be her. She's her. But you see her on TV, so you idolize her. You say, well, let me get my eyes and my nose. And it's just a big lie, because you're fearfully and wonderfully made already. You were created the way you were supposed to be. You can't grow yourself.
Be the
you can
best
put on
you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not the best somebody else.
Being you is being great. I'm 5'10".
And
athletic.
Are you 5'10"?
I'm 5'10", and I was, you can very well imagine growing up at 5'10". I'm probably 5 inches to this day, 5 inches. I don't know how tall you guys are, but I mean 7.
I feel like the Amazon woman, and I'm like 5'7".
Yeah,
and so I put my heels on, and I tower over everybody at work because I'm 5'10".
And I have to be okay with that. Because
you feel bigger already.
But I'm okay with that, because that's the way God made me.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to try to shrink down for what? Because that means I'm losing my purpose. And if I don't become a part of my purpose, then my living is in vain anyways. And so if you're 5'2", 4'2", 6'2", 200, now you can control your weight somewhat, but you're not. Some people's not going to be a penny.
Body types are different.
Right, you're not going to be a pencil skin. Stop looking in a magazine.
Right.
And appreciate your health first, and then become the best you. If you know that you need to push back on the donuts, you need to get exercise, then you know why you probably are 20 or 30 pounds overweight. But for the most part, be grateful and thankful that you're healthy, because somebody today is spending 4 hours on dialysis. Today, right now, they're spending 4 hours of their day trying to stay alive. Right. Somebody's fighting for their life, and we're fighting for a six-pack. And I try to explain that to people. You need to understand how important your health is first.
But I wouldn't even talk about those people, because even if you're spending 4 hours of your day on dialysis, you can still better your life by thinking, what are the best choices for me to put in my body? And then what can I do while I'm getting dialysis and I'm sitting down? Maybe I can move my arms. Maybe I can bring some dumbbells instead of sitting and reading. And you're going to feel better. It's all relative.
It's all relative.
It's just increasing your quality of life as much as you possibly can.
And appreciating being healthy and being alive. I think that's what I'm saying, is just be appreciative of your opportunity to still live, whether you're on dialysis or not. But that's time they're spending, or whether you're healthy.
And if you're not, but maybe you're just not feeling good, you've gained a lot of weight, you've been heavy for a long time, whatever. No judgment here. But truly, we've lost. We're not out hunting for food. We're not out gathering firewood. We have all the conveniences of life today, and it's hurting us.
Right.
Because we're not moving our bodies. So in whatever way, shape, or fashion you can move, if you just need to walk up and down your neighborhood once, and then try to do it twice, and then try to walk a mile, and then try to fast walk. It doesn't matter. It's going to go. What's happening in our society is people are getting more and more and more depressed more and more and more often. And I truly believe it's linked to the lack of movement, because your body will release those endorphins. Your body will take care of itself if you help it. And we're not doing enough of that as a society. I'm not doing enough of that right now. I recognize that. And I said, I've got to start getting moving again. I still like the way I look, but I want to feel better.
Right.
I want to feel better. And that's the point. We need to feel better. So let's talk about how you help people who, because you're a trainer, and now you're teaching it and you're putting it into practice. So what are some of the methods you use, and how do you teach people now?
Well, again, I try to get them moving. And of course, in moving, same word, same prefix of move is motivation. You have to have the mindset and the motivation to move, even if it's go up and down your drive. So a lot of it is, okay, come in and let's commit to 15 minutes. I have a young guy, one of the producers that I work with on another show, not radio, television. And I challenged him and had him come on air. And I said, your challenge for 2015 is 15 minutes a day. Actually, it was 15 minutes every other day. I'm sorry. So it's 45 minutes a week. And I was like, if you didn't fit the gap that I'm leaving in for you between Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is if you do 11 minutes on Monday, you just get the 4 minutes makeup on Tuesday and then start your 15 minutes, because you have to start somewhere. Like you really, truly, people believe they can do that. If I say you just come to 15 minutes of your hour, commit to that, they always do more than that. And you'll be surprised. Yeah, because
once you get dressed and you get going.
And you get there.
It's just a matter of getting. And then I hear people say, go to bed in your workout clothes.
Sometimes that
then
works.
You wake up and you're already dressed. Just throw your sneakers on, you know.
Sometimes that works.
I can't sleep like that, but it might help. Because that's part of it. Just getting up and getting dressed.
And not being intimidated by what you're going to do when you get there. Some people are just like overwhelmed by, oh my God, I'm out of shape. Let me get in shape. And you'd be surprised how many people say, let me get in shape before I come to you. But you know, just that small little commitment of 15, just making that commitment and sticking with it. And then I gave him a series of 1 minute exercises. You can set your phone for 60 seconds or 1 minute and just do that exercise for that long, which he didn't even do that long. He didn't do that long. He did 30 seconds of the exercise, because this may not seem like a lot until you start doing it for a minute. or this may not seem like a lot.
She's raising her legs in her chair.
Until you're doing it for a minute. And then he's like, oh my goodness, I've only done 2 minutes. And I feel that right through here. I was like, exactly. Now, if we can just get you to do 13 more minutes, you've met your goal. And just keep adding those minutes up and clocking them. You can do it during your break, phone break.
1 minute intervals. So let's just say we're up for 15 hours a day. 1 minute an hour. That's going to help?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you don't think it'll help, try it.
Wow.
Take a challenge. It was a challenge. And I challenged him and the viewers to do for 2015, commit to 15 minutes for 3 days a week. That's it. Because I think that is so realistic to do. And if you could just count the minutes.
Because you could do that in your chair at work.
You could do exactly. We have a workout called Anywhere There's a Chair workout on our super fast abs exercises in 15 minutes, 15 exercises you can do in 20 minutes or less. We specifically customize exercises in a chair because people sit so much.
And that's on your website
and the seniors,
too?
You can get it in our store, our online store. Cool. But it's called Anywhere There's a Chair, because people, I'd have to meet them where they are. Because keep trying to drag them to the gym and drag them to a mindset and all that. You have to just meet them where they are and add on. And before you know it, Joanna, I'm at 30 minutes. I went to the gym again today. And so those little steps.
Will that help them lose weight?
Well, I don't really like to talk to people about losing weight, because losing weight.
Because I think they'll see, because we're so scale oriented. That's my only thing. I know you're going to feel better.
People are scale oriented, but you really. We invest a lot, like 30 years into a house, 7 years in a car. True. Now they got 72 months car payments. Back then it was only 60.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Right.
72
months. And then you have these relationships that aren't fruitful. But if we start exercising today, we want to lose weight tomorrow.
Yeah.
And exercise is just not like that. Exercise is just like faith. You're going to get out of it what you put into it consistently. You have to work it out. You have to work through it. You have to go through the lows and the highs, and you have to understand that exercise is not a one night stand. It is a enduring friend for you.
Not a one night stand.
It's not. And we treat it like a one night stand. We treat it like wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, now give me what I want. It's not like that. It needs to be consistently cultivated, nurtured, and then reinforced. And it wants to love you. It wants to embrace you. It wants to be a part of your life forever, not for a season. And your body understands and respects that. Weight loss is relative. You can be sick and lose weight, bulimic, anorexic. You can have an eating disorder. So many things you can do to lose weight. But fitness only comes through one vice, and that's eating and exercise to be fit, healthy, strong, to work. You know, do what you need to do it on a day-to-day basis. And so
let's talk about that. So how you go to people go to a fitness center? How do you work with folks?
I would usually work with people based on what we call a needs assessment. So say, for instance, what we do at the Department of Justice, a lot of those people truly honestly have hectic schedules. They're judges and lawyers, and they're just real tight on their schedule. And so what I do is I go to them down on Russell Street, on Pryor Street at the Richard Russell building, and meet them during their lunch hour. That has been doing that for 2 years.
Is that a closed session, or can other people
can join it? You can join it if you just have to be securely come through the courthouse, and most people come in with their tennis shoes or just their driver's license. They don't even bring anything else if they're not already working in there, but the majority of the work in the building. What does that do for them? It gives them a spark in their day. It gives them energy. It prevents them from having to go to work out after work or before work. And it just gives them camaraderie with their coworkers, and it's so accessible for them. And it's enough for them to get what they need from exercise as a supplement through their week without bombing. And so that's an example. A needs assessment will say, do your employees need to work out at night? Do I need to come personally train you?
So you work mostly with companies, and then the people are in your classes through company partnerships with you.
I try to manage. I try to manage the ones that I have a strong relationship with. I have a few personal training clients that I train, but I have other trainers and instructors that work and do group exercise programs for like Golden State Foods. We do Hildeberg and different companies that we just have relationships with. But me personally, I kind of just do a couple of different ones that I started with and kind of just stayed with. But we can serve it. We can serve just about anybody.
So what do you do with like a couple or a family or something that wants to get fit?
We would sit down and we would do a needs assessment and evaluate what would be best for them, because it may not be best for you to come travel all the way to Panola Road and be in our program or be on site. It may be best for you to meet me at a park near your on Saturday. Some
one
couples,
of your trainers.
Like one family does a Saturday. With the kids and everybody, that's their Saturday morning, 8 to 9. This is what we're doing, and we're working out. If weather doesn't allow us to go outside, we're going to work out in the home. So it just depends on the individual, because one thing about fitness is it like that car key. It has to be custom. One size does not fit all. We know that.
Yeah, and I love that
that's
because
not true.
Then when you're working with them, even if it's just one day a week, you're teaching them exercises and things that they can do as homework for the rest of the week.
They do get a map. They do get an assignment, and they have a log and journals and all those things and emails, and so they're constantly communicated. Yeah,
and how much is something like that if they were going to hire you for an hour a week?
For me, it's a little different than if they hire a trainer. So depending on the area, they could get a trainer for as little as $25 a week to come by down. Mm-hmm. For Saturday, to come out on Saturday.
I'm going to sign up.
Yeah.
I am. Because, I checked out. I had to, for a minute, to focus on me. And that year, it took me a year. I lost 70 pounds in 10 months. And I had a nanny helping to feed the kids, and she wasn't the greatest cook. So she did a lot of frozen foods, and the sodium went up, and the kids gained weight after my divorce. So then I'm healthy. I'm trying to get them to eat healthy, but I'm so busy, and she's the nanny, and she's not cooking very well. And so I now have to check in with the kids again and get us all healthy together.
Right.
I'm going to sign up. I'm definitely going to sign up.
Awesome. And we'll call that coaching, because it's just once a day. It's a teaching session as well as a workout session, and then of course you get your assignment for the week, and just what you doing, what you got going on.
Okay, folks, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to challenge you. You need to go on Joanna Ward's website, joannawardfitness.com, and just come up with 3 things that you can do to change the way your routine is right now to help you be healthier, feel better. I'm not even talking about how much weight you're going to lose. Just get healthy. And we're going to have you back. I hope you'll come back in 6 months. Okay. And I'm going to hire whoever. I probably can't get you because you're so busy and I live in Kennesaw. And then we're going to check in and see how and I'll have my kids on, hopefully, if I can get them on. That'll be fun.
That'll be awesome.
Okay, so I'm taking a fitness challenge right here for everybody. Yeah. And then we'll have you back. What is it? February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Perfect.
That'll be perfect.
Nice and fit for the summer. Woohoo! Thank you all. You're helping me live better. Yeah. Joanna, can you shout out a phone number, give some folks some contact information for you, because this has been a great show, and I hope we've motivated some folks to give you a call and get healthy.
I hope so. Yeah, we can meet you at any point you are. You can visit us online at JoannaWardFitness.com. We're on YouTube at Joanna Ward Fitness Television, where you can check out some of our cool videos, and you can give me a call if you need to at 770-873-2497. Love you guys.
Thank you so much. I'm Jeannie Pete. Thanks for listening. Have a blessed day and week ahead. And listen here, same time next week and every week. Homestead Hope Foundation is your resource for a healthy life. God bless.